gun is ringing like a Klondike. Exceptions, nothing that I don't like. My friends keep telling me to quit now, but she's just telling me to keep her. She wants some black magic. She likes to make it classy, even though she's not an addict. She likes to ride Ferrari.
Is it countdown giving me the shivers? You wanna like about him as a believer. Every time he's going out to see her, die always and I feel the pizza. Cause what I like is what I got, and after all the shit we've done, I wanna see you shine a light. I also wanna feel the fire,
But now we gotta feel the fire.
discover all of them desire. I also wanna feel the fire.
Our souls are making up a circle. The body is falling down a spiral.
We have some permanent connection, and we walk down a new direction. I also wanna feel the fire.
But now we gotta feel the fire.
Discover all of them desire. I also wanna feel the fire.
Our souls are making up a circle. The body is falling down a spiral.
We have some permanent connection, and we walk down a new direction.
She wants some black magic. She likes to make it classy, even though she's not an addict. She likes to ride Ferrari.
Cause what I like is what I got, and after all the shit we've done, I wanna see you shine a light. I also wanna feel the fire. I also wanna feel the fire.
Ride Ferrari.
Discover all of them desire. I also wanna feel the fire.
Ride Ferrari.
I also wanna feel the fire.
Make up your own rules as you go. Stay only true to what you know and who you are. And who you are. The road may be rough, you might not see the top, but winners don't quit and winners don't stop. The leap may look large, you might think that you'll fall, but winners aren't born, winners work hard. work hard. You can't win if you don't play. The game might be dirty, but it's okay. You can't win if you don't play. You can't win if you don't play. The game might be dirty, but it's okay. You can't win if you don't play. So you better play the game.
Yo, it's Rich Top, AI in the house. Plug in, level up. We building right now. From zero to hero, no cap. Let's go. Build with AI. Yeah, we stacking the code.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday evening. As I start every stream, I'm way behind. Way behind.
Started simple, just a curious mind. Copy paste prompts. Yeah, I wasted some time. Trial and error. Prompts crashing like bricks, but I kept pushing. Learned all the tricks. Don't just ask. Directed like a boss. Act like a senior dev. No fluff, no loss.
So how is everybody? If anybody's in watching live right now, how are you? Tell me where you're watching from.
Showing y'all the path, turn the dark into light. Yeah, we stacking the code. Prompt the power, watch the future explode. Yeah, we stacking the code. Now I think different mindset on lock.
And we are just trying to get set up for what we're going to do here. We're continuing from last night. I've got to get Claude set up here, so
feel that bass hit deep. That's the grind.
all right.
That's the leap. Rich top AI.
Have to let me bring up this document so we can look at it. Let's decide where I want to put it. Go right here.
Applaud if you nod. From no code news to coding with flair. AI's the tool. You the one on prepare. We building empires. Pixel by pixel. Futures wide open. Make it official.
I really need to buy that license.
Every week together we rise. No cap. That's the peak. Yeah, we stacking the code. Prompt the power. Watch the future explode. Rich top AI. Build mode. Let's go.
Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. Oh, I know why. I know why. I know why. Give me just a second here. Like I said, I'm running way behind. Gotta figure out. I was trying to get a document over here that should have been easy to do. It's a PDF, so I'm just gonna have it read it. Yeah, it's not Markdown. I'll have to convert that later, but it can read it. I should have kept that open, so let me do it again. Because try. There we go. All right, this is not going to be very clean, but I can make this bigger. Can I make this bigger? Hmm. All right. Well, that's going to be hard for you, anybody to read. So it's as big as I can get it, it looks like. Just kind of reading through this real quickly here so I can act like I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm getting there now. I'm getting caught up now. All right, now let me, I think I got it here. Oh, it's here. So let's close this one out. Okay. So I can close that out. This over here out of the way for a second. Let's make this full screen. All right. So what we're doing. Last night we started this plan. This right here, the problem is PDFs, and that's a problem I'm trying to solve. And getting PDFs converted to markdowns. So I started thinking about the problem and trying to figure out why and what the limitations were and why one software was good for one thing but the other one wasn't good for that. And so you had this mix of different layers, right, or different softwares you had to use and run. So, and I didn't see anything out there that kind of fit my workflow and what I was trying to do. So, and I do have a specific use case in mind. So I know the PDFs that I'm going to be looking at are going to be a lot of, well, first, they're going to be clean PDFs. They shouldn't be copies, because copies, that presents another problem. So I knew, most of what I was going to have to deal with, or I'm thinking about dealing with, were going to be, originals or, electronic versions, not copies. So I didn't have to really worry about that problem. So I just started thinking about, why, and then I started iterating with Claude, which is what I do. And probably in a very long back and forth conversation, took that conversation to and started a new thread, and I do that a lot too. Just to, a lot of times I'll say, find holes, find where the thinking's wrong. Just not that they're gonna ever just, I'm never fooled. They will definitely tell you what you want to hear. So as long as you're aware of that and you can spot it a mile away pretty easily. So anyway, started iterating and came up with this plan. And then I took this plan and I ran it through a thing I call the forge, which is just taking a seed document, and we basically took this problem statement and what we iterated on and kind of condensed it down and put it in a seed document. And the instructions were to, think about this problem of parsing PDFs and how can we streamline it, and how can we make it smarter, so it, we find things that we miss and we can use those things that we miss and make it better, right? So we took all of that, put it in a seed document. They come in and they read this seed document and they think about the problem. They come up with a plan. They document that plan. They leave a handoff, and this is all done through Mandrill, which is this project management, AI first project management tool that I built. Again, I say this every night, but there is no way that I could have built anything that I built without this tool, because it just allows me to know start to finish where a project starts, where it ends, and everything in between. So this is what allows me to maintain these projects. You always hear people say, well, you can't maintain them. You can build them, but you can't keep them going. Well, this Mandrill's been going since August. I built the personal assistant that's been going since January 1st. I think it was January 1st. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything like that. I'm saying it's because of this, because we have every decision, every error that we fixed, any changes that we make, it tracks everything that we do. So that's what we did last night, is those instances come in a project, and it's this project right here, and these are the context that it saved last night. So if you look, this is the very start. Well, it looks like are they backwards? What is going on here? Oh, that's right. I ran 2 of them. I forgot about that. But yeah, this is, if you see, let's find I1 here, because that was the first run. I'm not logged in. That's my problem. We're logged in. All right, so if we go back here, there we go. That makes more sense. This is the very start. This was I1. So this is the first instance that came in, read that seed document, and they saved a planning context. They saved a decision context, or a couple of them. It saved 2 planning context, and then it saves the handoff context. And this handoff is what has been so valuable with this tool, because even on a regular project, and I'm not doing this forge looping thing, we still use handoffs all the time because they just know how to leave the right information. And I don't have to say anything. They just go in and leave a handoff. That's all I say is leave a handoff. And this, this is what they'll leave. They'll talk about the decisions made, what they did. There's a little more in here because we instruct them to do this, because we're making them think more. But it's structurally the same. So they just, they know what they're going to need when they come back in. They understand what a handoff is what I'm saying. They understand that clearly. So that's what we did last night and I'll do this method because you can get them to think differently. And when I say differently, I just mean you don't get those first pass tokens. That's what I call them. So if you go ask a LLM a question, it's going to process through like it does. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I can tell you everything about it, but I understand that it's all probability, and you get the most probable next token. That's what it's predicting. What's the most probable next token? So that's what I call a first pass token. And what I try to do with this looping is break that and make them think about the project or the problem more and deeper. And then the next instance that comes in after that, they're instructed to critique or find problems, find edge cases, not just accept, not follow the leader kind of thing. And then what that does is it makes them again think, because otherwise they would just come in and read what the past context says, and they'll just keep going with that. But if you try to break them of that and make them poke holes, and look at it differently, that's when you start getting different tokens. Anyway, that's my theory. And I've got anecdotal evidence, so we ran, I think it was 5 instances over this last night. Yeah, there's 4. And yeah, 5. And then we saved a few more context. Well, here is the end of 5 right here. Then we saved one last one on the summary. So just kind of shows you how I use Mandrill. Like everything that I do to a project goes in here. It's documented. So, and honestly, they do it all, right? So that's why it works for me, because I don't have the time, and there's no way I could keep this meticulous of notes. And if I tried to do it in all markdowns, it would be a mess. So this just works for me. So tonight, that brings us to tonight. We're going to take all of this that they did last night, and then we're going to take this. Still got it open? Yeah. We're going to take this, which is me feeding last night's into Claude today, and kind of having it go through and poke holes and find problems. And that's exactly what it did. So we're going to now take this document, PDF, I can get back over here. There we go. So we're going to take that PDF that we just looked at, and then it's going to come into Mandrill, and it's going to read this, which is a summary of all of these runs and what their plan was, what they came up with. So they came up with a solution to the problem. So now we're going to check that solution. And I got to type here just a second. And you don't want me typing and talking at the same time. There we go. Some might say this is really not necessary, but I would argue against it, or against that point. All right, so what I'm doing here is just saying, take this PDF and then go to Mandrill and to the PDF. Actually, I'm calling it the project's PDFer. Go to the PDFer project and then context get recent. And that just tells it to get the most recent context. I think it'll get 5, the most recent. And then I'm telling it just to, look at both of those documents, synthesize them, look at it from a different point of view, and that we're going to keep. And I let it know that we're going to actually change from an API to try to do this local. We're going to try to use Gemma 4 or 4B. So I just left it with that. And I if there's anything that I absolutely wanted to know for sure, if you put it at the end, in my experience, they'll usually pay more attention to it. So everybody's got a different theory on that, though. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to get this plan and see what this model says here. And I guess we're using Opus 4.7 too, by the way, that just came out today. And the patch that it's talking about is that PDF document. And noting the Gemma switch up front. See, it's going to argue with me because it's doesn't know. It thinks, and you got to watch this all the time if you're using models, local models. They don't have the most current, and they don't look beforehand. All right, so we know we got to correct that. It says it just does not think it exists, right? So but it saw, because I pointed it to where it's at, and it saw the actual model setting in there, but it still doesn't think, because it doesn't know, man, right? Like it hasn't been told that or trained that. Not told, trained on that. Then it says worth verifying the actual file before any benchmark, so we're not building on a phantom. These things, man. They're weird. They're very weird. And this is a weird time. All right, want me to draft a revised patch incorporating this. All right, so let's actually see where any differences missing from the patch. All right, I like that. Just talking about instituting a kill switch, because we're gonna, part of this is that feedback loop. We're gonna, because there, and I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time boring you with talking again here, but just try to get you briefly caught up on what this project is. We're going to take a PDF and we're going to run it through these layers, because you have to go through different layers. But the first thing that we're doing, though, is we're going to turn everything into an object, because PDFs are designed for rendering, right? Like it's not text. So you can't extract text like you normally can, because it's a picture, it's an image, it's supposed to render, and it's full of rendering instructions. So we're going to take that, and my idea was let's use it, right? Let's take whatever the problem is and let's build off of that. So we're going to turn them into objects, and this may not work. Listen, I'm fully aware this may not work, but we're going to, having said that, we're still going. We're going to turn them into objects, and then we're going to extract things, and we're going to be able to put a human in the loop, because I don't think there's any way that you can take a human out of a loop on this. Not right now. But we're going to put a human in the loop just to quickly verify, like this belongs here. Like if you got two columns in a PDF, it reads left to right, and it's going to read left to right completely across the line. It doesn't know there's two different columns there. So you might have, one column, one sentence of one column, and then another sentence of the second column. So it ends up being this garbled mess. So I don't know what my point there was. What was my point? Well, just talking about it's to render things. That's what a PDF is for. So we're going to turn them into objects, and then that human in the loop, that's where I was. The human in the loop is going to be able to verify that, it recognized that this is a column and that's a separate column, and this text belongs in this column and this text belongs in this column, that type of thing. So once that's verified, then you can extract it. But the key here is, hopefully, if this works, we're saving all of these, if the human in the loop, when the human has to correct it, we're going to save all that, right? We're saving all that on the back end. And then that data is going to become training data. And we're going to use LoRa tabs to fine tune these two models that we're going to use. So that's the idea. That's the idea. So yeah, we're going to use a kill switch in that. And what it's saying here is if those LoRa adapters start degrading, if they're not working, you know, if you start seeing it gets worse, we got a kill switch. Because right now the plan is to train, I think it was train after 50 documents. So it would be 50, 100, 150, and then 200. Eval corpus, not just benchmarks, pages. 3 hard pages tell you if it works. It doesn't give you a regression suite. Define a 20 to 30 page held out eval. All right, I'm good with that. What happens when Gemma's output doesn't match the extraction schema? Change 5 catches parse error, but a structured output retry with schema correction. Gemma supports this natively. Before marking failure is cheap insurance. Good with that too. All right, I'm going to say yes, draft. Patch Corp. And I can assure you, Gemma is legit and loaded on this device. Then I'm going to say also then I'm going to say also give us an overview of the plan as we as it looks right now. Taking your word on Gemma 4. You do that. Wouldn't it be cool if this works, especially with the Gemma 4? And I mean 4B, really. Because you can run that. I mean, you don't have to have a crazy GPU to run that. You just still it down, and I think you could run it entirely on the CPU, I'm sure. So anybody watching live, if you are, tell me where you're watching from. It's been quiet, and it's because I haven't had any music on. Man, what is wrong with that? I've been talking too much. All right, here we go. What PDFer is? I crack myself up when I say that. You PDFer. A local first tool that turns PDFs into clean structured document.md plus assets plus metadata.json. It gets smarter on your documents the more you use it, and nothing leaves your machine. Small business pitch, drop your docs in, correct what's wrong. The tool learns your style. That's exactly where we're going with this. The system in one paragraph. Modular monolith. Python fast API backend plus React, TypeScript, Canova.js. Front end SQL Lite. PDFs flow through 5 stages. Ingest using MyMu PDF. Detect, and this is our first model, that YOLO V8M. And then we have the human review. Wait a minute. Where? Oh, okay. We're using Gemma 4 at the end. That's right. All right. So then we got the human review. Then we go. After that, we get our extraction. We get assembly. And then that's when, if we need extra help for reasoning, layout, Gemma 4 can step in. All right, so yeah, there's our stages: ingest, detect, review, extract, and then assembly. So the idea here is loop A, YOLO retraining, corrected bounding boxes, fine-tune, checkpoint, retrains at 50, 100, 200, and 400. Every 200 pages after that. Or I guess after 200. So we're going to keep version base and then plus the last 3 trainings. Or fine-tunings. Fault and context, few shots, 3, 5 similar, prior corrections. Always on. So it's always there. Okay, so we're going to use Gemma as the default. And then phase 2, gated LoRa adapters. So this is our first loop. Then we're going to run it through this loop. And then that's when the human comes in and reviews. What do we got? 3 screens: projects, documents, and document workspace. 3 panel workspace. Okay. 2 review modes: page view and a queue view. Sample extraction for corrections, 130 contact. What? Open for Claude Code review, pre-forge. Symbol extraction for first 50 corrections. 131K context usage for cross-page assembly coherence. Oh. Are we doing a test? We're gonna have to ask about this. Yeah, it's wanting to go, and I don't think I want to go yet. I'm not, let me go look at this actual plan. It'd be so nice if I could click this link, if it was linked. It's confirming Gemma. All right, I see where we're going here. I'm good with this. Pre-build verification required. Smoke test. Gemma 4 EBIT via transformers on known page. Confirm it runs at all on the 460 Ti. Current VRAM budget. Yeah, it's gonna run. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. But I'm gonna have to find. Let's close that out now. I need a PDF, something that I know that I can show live. Let's do this. I think I can get one here. Go here. Here. Take down. Should know this, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. I don't know though. It might surprise me because Gemma, you know, it's got vision. So, but this is difficult. I'm gonna download it and we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Here, Brian, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's go ahead and put it in projects, PDFer. let's just create. Can I create? You got to do it here. Yeah. Yeah, all right, let's just save it there. All right, let's say sorry about that. Yep. So I'm just telling it that I downloaded that PDF. Did it find? It must have found it. I don't see where it found it though. That's confusing me. Was it looking for it up here? No. I don't know. That's yeah, you're hallucinating, Claude. That's who's hallucinating here. And when I say hallucinating, it just means they're again, I'm gonna go back to that speech I gave early. They give the most probable token. So if they don't go and verify something, they're just gonna go with the most probable. So they're always going to give you the most probable token. It's about steering them to make sure. That's why you always hear, these, I'll call them real devs. The guys that I kind of listen to, like Thorsten. They're always talking about steering them, right? Like you give them feedback. Not steering them. They're talking about giving them feedback. They're always, feedback. So that's all you're trying to do with these models, because they're always going to go with the most probable token. And if you don't point them to the right direction, then they don't know, right? Like that's what you got to remember. They don't know. They only know what you tell them. Or they only know what direction to go from what you tell them. Let's put it that way. Because they definitely know more than me. It's suspicious. It's suspicious, Claude. No, that's where was oh right here. Script is correct. Let's make sure. It's trying to say that it's trying to you when you send it an image, you have to tag it with image, just like this, right? It's markers. So what's in between those markers is your image. Yeah, try a simple text. There you go. Which means your test is wrong. Something's wrong. It's hallucinating content that isn't on the page. It describes a video player interface with watermarks. That's not what's on the page at all. Oh Jesus, man. I mean, this is just like a gigantic mashup of humanity, right? That's how they talk. This is a real problem. 3 possibilities. Image pre-processing is wrong. Pixel values don't represent the actual page content. Vision Tower is receiving garbled data due to quantization. That could be the problem. Chat template ordering bug. Image tokens aren't in the right position. Plot twist. I saw that. So it's verifying plot twist. The PDF you described to me was the architecture patch. Was it talking to it? But what actually rendered on page 2 is Mannington Adura transition installation guidelines page, a flooring installation document. The PDF actually contains different content than I assumed from the file name. What? Oh, this is so stupid, man. All right, so my new PDF is correctly rendering the page. The page is a real visually rich document. Flooring installation guide with labeled diagrams, measurements, step-by-step instructions. Gemma 4 is not seeing this image. It's describing a video player with interface with watermarks. This is a vision pipeline bug at our end. I'm surprised it's admitting that right now. The most likely culprit gives the bleeding edge transformers plus bits and bytes plus a new architecture is that either the pre-processing normalization is wrong or there's a device placement bug. Let me read that again. The most likely culprit given the bleeding edge transformers. All right. All right, it says it's used a lot of turns. I've seen that before, but you don't see it very often. This might be a new thing with Opus 4.7, but it is recognizing that it's not getting anywhere, so that's a good thing, right? It says 3 options for what to do next. Stop and investigate. I search for the working invocation recipe, HV model card, transform. There you go. Before burning more cycles or on guesses. That's definitely new. That's definitely new. I've not seen that one. Before burning more cycles on guesses. So it's recognizing it, right? Like, so that must be that extra loop that they throw in there or something. Try a different inference path. Use models.generate with raw tensor construction, bypassing applied chat. All right, I've got an idea here. Try without quantization. Close. All right, yeah, I'm good with that. It's doing fine. It's doing fine, Anthropic. It's doing fine right now. Can Anthropic look at your session? Yes, Anthropic, you can look at my session, but I want to be a partner, right? I want to be a partner. Not asking for a job. I want to be a partner. That's my pitch. All right. So what were we doing? We were talking about it recognizing that it was guessing. And then we're going to say, yes, go option 1 first. But before you do anything, I want to try from your search. Now this, I 100% will go to my grave saying works, because many examples, many times when I do this, and we're going to see, because this is a different model, right? Like, this is a new model, so we're going to see if this works. But if I get them thinking about troubleshooting and thinking like a troubleshooter and tracing, which it's already doing this well on its own, right? I get recognized that it was not gaining ground. It was losing ground. It knew it was guessing, and that's huge. I'm telling you, that's big. You don't get them to say that they're guessing, like, you know, right? Like, so that's definitely they've been trained. That's definitely been trained in. All right, so we're going to let it go option 1, which was to go actually investigate and search for what we need, the right setup we need to make Gemma process an image. And then I'm saying, go do that. But first, or after that, I want to try a couple easier tests with just image processing first. Let's make sure we always trace the problem. Just like, and this is in the Claude .md, something similar. See, it knows. Follow L1. That's our lesson 1. That was lesson number 1. Don't skip layers. So following directions well, like it recognized, hey, yeah, let's just see if we can get it to recognize an image. And this is what I was talking about. I'm losing my voice tonight. This is what I was talking about when I was talking, about steering them, right? You give them feedback. It had this plan, and it's only was going to give us this plan, right? Like, so it doesn't know that you have there might be a simpler path. It just was locked in on this idea that it was already on, right? Like this path it was already on, this probability path it was already on. Probability path sounds like some game from the 80s, like a board game that only computer kids played. We didn't play Chutes and Ladders, we played Probability Path. Come on, man. That's pretty good, right? Ding. Guess what? Found a bug. Seen that, but let's go back up here and see what it actually did. So it wrote the test. Confirmed plumbing is broken. The hello image is trivially simple. And my hallucinated a video player with the grid mosaic pattern. It is stuck on a video player. Isn't that, wait a minute, man. You want to get like, all right, this is, I told you, the later it goes, the weirder it gets, right? Think about this for a second. It keeps like, and we can scroll back. We could scroll back and say and show where this Claude was saying it kept seeing, Gemma kept seeing a video player, right? Like that's the video player. It was a video player. And then the next one, it was a video player. And then this last one says it couldn't read this simple image. It says, hello. And it hallucinated and said it saw a video player with a grid mosaic pattern. So do you think when it's like, when it's the connection's bad, that it actually reads and sees this video player with this mosaic, like static screen? Why would it do that? Why would you do that? I don't know, man. Like it keeps hallucinating the same thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just from training, training data. It knows when it can't read something, it's in the human world, that's what you would see. That's wild though. It's crazy, man. It's actually trippy. All right, verify image actually decoded correctly, save what the processor produced after rescale, compare to input, and use lowest level inference bypass generate, call model forward, pixel values, input IDs once, inspect logits or logits. Is it logits? See, I don't even know what that is. I'm all for this one. Yeah, let's try it without quantization. Found the bug. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a freaking clue. I mean, it sounds like it's because of the quantization, which kind of makes sense. The parameter is not honoring our skip list for this model, likely because the Gemma 4 architecture wraps around this linear so it's not name matching, and bits and bytes may not work as expected. Or the bleeding edge transformer changed the skip module plumbing. This explains everything. The vision tower is running in 4-bit, which corrupts visual features so badly the model just hallucinates generic video player content. I cannot close OBS. Yeah, I can. I could just end this live stream now, couldn't I? No, because I still want to. Oh, I didn't screen record. Oh, that makes me so sick. That makes me so sick. Well, let's start now, just in case. All right, so I'm just saying it wants to free up some GPU and actually run Gemma at full FP16, but I don't want to stop recording. So So I'm telling it just to go search the web right now. Somebody's had to run into this. It's been out for a couple weeks, I think. So yeah, I think there should be something out there. you.